Okay, some dating advice for men in 2001. This is going to be life changing if you take this information on board. So hit that subscribe button if you're new, like, share, not fasten your seatbelts, get yourself a drink, relax, sit back, marinate in this great dating advice. So, the biggest mistake men make in regards to looking for a girlfriend, wife, a relationship, talking to women, trying to attract women, trying to impress women. Number one mistake above everything is being too desperate. Desperation, neediness, being too clingy is the ultimate turn off for a woman. And for obvious reasons, when you're desperate, it doesn't make you look good. It kind of paints you in a bad light, paints you in a light that you're not happy in yourself, that you're needy, that you need it too much, and it doesn't make you attractive. It does the opposite. And so many guys do this at every stage of an interaction with women. And I understand the thinking because it's part of our program. And the thinking is that I really want to, date that girl. I really like that girl. I really like that woman, and I want to get a phone number, and I want to move things forward and start dating. Now, guys get ahead of themselves too quickly, without getting to know the woman. Where I think, from my experience with women, women are a little bit different to men in the earlier stages of dating. They tend to be less needy, right? I'm not saying that's going to be the case for every woman, but generally I find men tend to be more needy, more desperate than women to get with women, especially at the start. So a lot of men will say to me, I keep getting flakes, why has that happened to me? I speak to a woman, I think it goes well, she gives me her phone number when I call her or text her for a date, she doesn't respond. And the reason you're getting that is because you're too desperate, and you're demonstrating that, and you're showing that in your behaviour, and women are seeing that, and they're judging you on that. And that's why they're flaking on you, because if a woman likes you and is attracted to you, and she is interested in you, in most cases she won't flake on you. She will respond to your calls, and she will meet up with you. It's pretty simple. There's always going to be obviously some grey areas, but generally speaking, this is the reason. And I've said this to guys before, it's because you're trying to rush things too much. You're not slowing down and relaxing. So I'm going to give you 2 problem-solving tools to fix this problem forever, for good, so that you don't demonstrate neediness and clinginess, because relationships are kind of complicated to a certain extent, in that, of course, it's normal to want something and to want to pursue a woman and to go for it. But the problem with relationships is they're a bit complicated with how men and women are, and the relationship building stages. If someone's too desperate at the early stages when you don't know them, even when it's for a friendship, it doesn't look good. It rings alarm bells in a woman's mind. And even for the opposite sex, it's like, why is the person so desperate to get with me and they don't really know me? So a woman will be asking herself that, like, how comes this guy wants to date me so quickly, and and they might not like it. Some women might feel, oh, he just wants to date me because he fancies me because of how I look, doesn't really care about getting to know me as a person. That can be a factor, not in all cases, but in some. It can also make, from one's point of view, make it look like you're a guy that struggles to get women and hasn't had a woman. And that's obviously, these are harsh truths, but a lot of women won't want to date you if they feel that all the other women don't want you. So don't panic when you hear these things. I don't want you to start panicking, because you can solve them. I'm going to give you a solution. So how do you stop being needy? How do you be yourself? How do you feel more confident when you're talking to women throughout all the stages? Talking, and when, like I said, another mistake, one of you wrote a question and said, I can't get second dates. I'll tell you why you can't. You're doing a lot right to get the first date, but what's happening on the first date is a woman could easily show you some interest. You might even kiss. That might happen, or a woman might show you a lot of affection, and there's a connection on the first date and you both have attraction, and it's a good awkwardness because you both like each other. But some guys get too ahead of themselves. They go on a date with a girl, the girl shows interest, and they immediately start assuming, oh, she's going to be my girlfriend now, oh, she's going to want to see me, and they start sending too many text messages or showing their feelings too quickly, right? I'm all about honesty. Let me just make a point, right? I don't like, you guys already know me, I don't like the tricks and the lines, and I don't like that PUA pickup stuff. I think it's garbage. I prefer honesty and not being manipulative. But even with honesty, you do have to have self-control. It's not good to show all of your feelings on a first date. I think that's too intense for anyone, for a woman to do that to a man, for a man to do that to a woman. And this is from my own life experience and learning from, there's plenty of good female experts online. Have a listen to what they've got to say. They'll tell you the same, and there's male experts. And from my own experience, my own walk of life, and dating different women, having long-term relationships and failing as well, making all the mistakes that you guys have made, I've made them as well. Just because a woman shows interest, and just because you might kiss on the first date or hold hands or hug or show affection or exchange compliments, it doesn't mean that that's a green light and guarantees you that this girl's going to want to see you again, because women can change their mind just like men can, and they can go away and think about the date and think, okay, there were some good things, but there were some things that you did that she might not have liked. And like I said, it's just obvious. Most women are going to have a lot of choice. So she might have went on a date with you, she did like you, you impressed her, it's great. She would probably want to see you again, but when you start sending all these messages, or you start telling her, that you're in love with her, or you want to meet very quickly the next day, she might go, hang on a minute, this guy's a bit too desperate, a bit too intense, and I think I'm going to not go on the second date. And she might choose another guy who is more relaxed than you are. So number one is, the key is, doesn't mean you can't show your feelings. It's good to be honest. It's good to show feelings. It shows confidence. And obviously, if you don't show your feelings to a woman, then how's she going to know that you like her? But there's a balance with everything, guys. There's always a balance. There's always a sweet spot. You can overdo it. You can underdo it. So it's getting that sweet spot, and that comes with practice, experience, intuition, relationship skills, and having good respect for women, for the person that you're dating, and self-respect as well. The way you first do it is awareness, and it's being aware. It's not like over-analysing yourself, but you have to be aware of the situation. You have to be aware of how the girl is responding. If you're sending a long text message to a girl and she's just responding with one word, okay, then that already tells you that she's investing a lot less than you are. Then you need to tone it down. If you're telling a girl that you think the world of her and she's wonderful, and she's just not saying anything about you, she's not saying, that she thinks you're great as well, it's already signs that maybe she's not as attracted to you as you are attracted to her, or maybe she's not interested in you in that way at all, or maybe she's just still deciding. Sometimes women take a bit longer to decide. Guys tend to rush in. They tend to make a decision, go, yep, I like that girl, I like how she looks, or I've spoken to her, I like her personality, and I would probably date her long term. I'm not saying all women, but for some women take their time a bit more. They might go away and talk to their friends about you and just say, went on a date with this guy, he seems nice, this and that. Then they might go over it with their friends and might discover some things that are positive or negative. Or they might just need time to think. I've found in my experience with the best relationships I had, it took time. It took time on my side and the girl's side, and I didn't rush in. Remember that song, right? It's an Elvis song, Only Fools Rush In. So much truth in that lyric. Only fools rush in. So you've got to not be a fool and rush in too prematurely. So it doesn't mean you can't show your feelings to a woman. It's good to do that, but at the right pace. So maybe you show more of your feelings on the 5th date, not the 1st date or the 2nd. That's too quick. So it's all about, for me, my values. I've always encouraged men and taught honesty with women, respecting women, being a gentleman, but being confident in yourself, communicating with a woman, enjoying the connection. Pace yourself. You have to, and sometimes that way you'll become more of the prize. If you're more relaxed, one will think, this guy is confident. And she'll be more drawn to you because she might be worried that she's going to lose you to someone else. And it's not game playing, so I don't like all that stuff, but it's just psychology, it's common sense. And I always ask people the question, how would you feel if someone started sending new messages on your Facebook or on your phone constantly and you didn't really know them? You wouldn't like that. Most people wouldn't like that. So you've got to put sometimes yourself in a woman's shoes. So, just be more relaxed about the dating. Less is more usually. So like I said, it's about behavioural control. We all have feelings, but we can't always act on everything we feel. Because if we acted on everything we feel, then it would look something like this, and this is going to just be probably creepy, too much. You're on a first date and you say, oh, by the way, I think I'm in love with you and I want to spend the rest of my life with you, and I'm worried that you don't want to date me, you want to be with me. I mean, if you said something like that, a woman might faint in shock, or she might laugh. I mean, maybe it can work once in a million, but most times it's not going to work. She's going to think, oh my God, this guy's got issues, he's desperate. She's going to want to run out of there. And I can't blame her, because a woman has to feel safe, and she has to value you, respect you, and feel that she has to earn a relationship with you. It can't just be that easy, unless you both just hit it off, and that does happen, but it doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't happen all the time where a man and a woman meet and they both feel an equal amount of attraction and connection, and they just both decide, let's be together, because that would be wonderful. I wish that could happen for all of us, but in a lot of cases it's not like that. Like I said, in a lot of cases the guy's more keen than the girl is. Obviously, once a woman falls in love with you, then things can change, it can balance out, she can like you more. So you do have to pay attention to the signs, and it's not just the signs about, oh, is she doing her hair when she talks to me, does she look at me? I mean, there's some truth in that, but we're more looking about the behavioural signs. Is she saying to you on the first date that I'd like to see you again? Is she open? Is she showing you a lot of affection? Is she texting you? Is she, are her messages warm, kind? And if the answer's no, then you probably have to back off. And it's also about your behaviour. Look, at the end of the day, I don't believe in tricks and fake it till you make it. I believe in being the real thing. And if you ain't feel confident in yourself and you feel insecure, then a woman's gonna pick up on these things on a date. So it's like, how can you fix this? My next thing, this is how you do it. You've got to have goals in life. Like I said in my other videos, guys, you've got to find the happiness within yourself and the confidence. You can't expect a woman to give it to you, and you can't expect a woman to date you when you're feeling massively insecure and you ain't sorted out your own responsibilities and took action. Check out my coward videos for more information and life experience and how you can do that. But you've got to face your fears, you've got to develop, you've got to get more comfortable, you've got to have that sense of confidence, and you've got to not need a woman too much or need anyone. Of course you can want it and you will get it, but you need to be okay on your own. You need to be really great on your own. And that needs to be filtered and demonstrated to a woman through your behaviours to give you a better shot at attracting her and bringing her into your life long term. For those of you that want a longer term relationships. I speak from experience, I'm sure you'll sense that. Nothing but experience, not from textbooks and books, through dating. I made the mistakes too, and I learned and put them right so you can put them right. So you've got the first one, which I touched on, which is your behaviour, where you relax more, and you just don't have that desperation on your face, and through the way you're speaking, you slow your speech down and just relax. And the more you do that, the more you can get to know a woman, she can get to know you. It makes a good first impression, because it's true, first impressions are lasting. It's very hard to undo a bad first impression on a first date. Kind of impossible in most cases. There's grey area in everything, but generally, if you show desperation on the first date, you can't really turn that around. A woman's not gonna date you. So it's eradicating the desperate behaviours, the neediness, the clinginess. And sometimes you just have to make a decision and say, look, I like this person, I'm attracted to them, and potentially I'd like to have a relationship with them, but I'm going to also let go of that and let go of the idea that I have to have this person in a relationship, because you can't guarantee it. And it's having that confidence where take it or leave it. And that's a very attractive place for a man. And again, it's not game playing. I'm not into all that stuff. I'm not into pretending that you're not into a girl to make her think, oh, he doesn't want me, and then she said, no, I'm not into all that stuff. That's childish. I'm saying generally, you're having respect for yourself, and you're just taking your time. But when I learned this from women, women are brilliant teachers. It's not just men that are good teachers. Women taught me a lot. Have continued to teach me a lot about how I can be better in relationships. That's why I can give you guys this information. So if you work on yourself and you go gym regularly and you improve your mental health, every aspect of improving mental health and improving confidence, self-esteem will eradicate neediness with women, desperation, clinginess, too much insecurity, too much anxiety, and that's what puts you in more of a confident place. Now, of course, not saying be perfect, guys. No one's perfect. I'm not, you're not. Neither is any woman that you're going to date. That's pretty obvious. But it's about being the best version of the best you can possibly be. So awareness. You might go to do something, go, okay, I'm going to send this girl another message, and you could actually become aware. That would be desperate. Maybe you've already messaged her, she's messaged, or maybe you've messaged her and she hasn't got back to you yet in a day. Leave it. Leave it for a couple, maybe a week. Forget about it. Get on with your life, and she'll probably get back to you. But if you keep messaging her, it's the opposite. You're going to push her away, because it's demonstrating that that neediness. And it's also when you're in person, if you have a desperate look on your face and it's kind of coming through your communication, your conversation, you're going to push her away. So desperation ruins attraction, connection, and someone wanting to be with you or go on more dates. So awareness, and I've made you aware in this video, and then you practice, you work on yourself, you set goals in life, you take action on those goals, you build discipline, you work out, you obviously treat people how you want to be treated, and all these things, they're all the ingredients to have more self-confidence. Of course, practice talking to women so you can get more comfortable, more confident, you can learn, have better social skills, and then you'll feel more attractive in your own skin, because at the end of the day, a woman can go out and get a guy whenever she wants, and most guys can't do that. They can't just go out and attract a woman, and there's only very few men that can do that have got the skill and the confidence to do that. But in a lot of cases, guys can't really do that. So if you develop your confidence, then you'll have that ability, and you'll have that same level of I know it's not a great word to use, but the power that women have got, you'll have that power as well, where you're in a position where you've got choice, and that always makes someone attractive. Someone who's got choice and options is always going to be more attractive than someone who hasn't. And I don't make these rules, so sometimes I feel the same, that some of these things don't feel fair. Things in life can feel unfair, and relationships can feel unfair, but it doesn't take away the fact that they're true, that they're very true. So it's just an obvious question. Would a woman rather date a guy who has got options and who is desirable and attractive to lots of other women, or would she rather date a guy that doesn't have any options and is not attractive to other women? It's just, I'm sorry, but it's pretty obvious. So you don't have to be the guy who's not attractive if you fix yourself, you work on your confidence, you get some goals in your life, you have a sense of purpose, you have respect women. Respect is really important. I think sometimes guys forget that. They get frustrated or upset, or they try to overly impress women and end up being arrogant or rude, and that's just silly. I don't encourage that. You don't want to be like that. You don't want to be bitter and all that. That will just get you rejected. So you want to come from a good place, but you want to have strong boundaries yourself. So a woman can get a sense and feel that you're interested in her, but she can also feel he could date somebody else because he's a great guy. He's got a lot of things going for him and he's happy in his life. And that's a huge part. A lot of guys don't realise if you're communicating with women and you're depressed and you're not happy, that can fall into desperation and neediness. I know it sounds like they're separate, but unhappiness creates unattractiveness, because most women, it's just like anyone, they're not going to be as drawn to you energetically if you're down and there's a negative vibe coming from you. It makes people unhappy. So get your vibe good, get yourself happy, get your energy positive, so when you're around women, that energy is beaming off. And the energy and the atmosphere in which you create through your own presence, that speaks 1,000 words to a woman in regards to attracting her, impressing her, and connecting. So I hope you got a lot out of this, because it's really good life experience, guys. So remember, guys, have a great respect for women when you're interacting with them. It's important. Caring, loving, empathetic, really good things. But control yourself. Don't be desperate to date a woman when you've only been on one date or you've had one conversation. Even if you've had amazing connection, that's great. I've had many amazing connections with women. I've had met a woman for the first time, we've spoken for 2 hours and we've hit it off, and it feels like, wow, we might even end up getting married. But then the next time we go on a date, the connection isn't as strong, and it just fizzles. It's not meant to be. And I've had cases, one of my previous relationships, probably the best one I ever had, when we first met, there wasn't that much chemistry there. I wasn't really into her, she wasn't really into me, but over time, we got to know each other, because we were both quite easygoing and not desperate about seeing each other. And then it really developed, and I fell in love. We fell in love with each other, love of my life, and I was the same for her at that time. So experience is the key in this. All right. So like, share. Hope you enjoyed the information. Let me know in the box below if this really helped you. And remember, whatever phase you're at of dating, whether it's a first date, second date, the start of a relationship, or first time you go up to a woman and strike a conversation, relax. Don't be desperate, and then things will work out, all right? Awesome.